Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be showing you the best tactics to earn money in ERLC. So without further ado, let's get right into it. ERLC is Emergency Response Liberty County on Roblox, and it is a game that, well, is very fun. I do recommend playing this game. It is a roleplay game. But the best method if you're looking to earn money or grind for cars or other things, well, I'll be showing you right now. So, our first method is to be a bank truck driver. A bank truck driver gets you a tremendous amount of money in the game. I'm talking very, very good amounts of money. So what you're going to want to do is come to the bank from the spawn. As you just saw me, that over there is the spawn in River City. Here is the bank. But you're going to walk up here and you're going to want to click Start Job. This job requires 0 job points. You're going to join that team, and now once you're on it, you are going to want to go to the back of the bank like so. You have to go right here and spend, I believe, 40-something thousand on the bank truck. You then buy the bank truck. Once a job does come up, you will get a notification. You're going to want to accept the job and head to a waypoint. But you gotta be quick because there is a timer. Eventually, that waypoint will expire. And criminals that are in a mafia also have the option to rob the bank truck by placing a C4 on it, and you will not get any money for the delivery. So you do need to be careful and quick. Once you get to the waypoint, you're going to see this green box. Then you're going to click Start Delivery. As you can see, there is an $1,000 fee and up to a $4,000 reward, therefore making quite a good bit of profit. And you can see there is a timer on the left of my screen. You will get paid a certain amount based on how quick you are and how good your driving is. So you want to be quick, but you also want to not hit anything and be careful. Always watch out for criminals because you can be robbed, as I said previously. I am heading to this waypoint. Usually the waypoint is the bank for your delivery. So I am currently there. This is usually my preferred method for making money in the game, unless I want XP as a law enforcement. Once you get to your destination, you will get a reward. As you can see, I did not quite get there, but I got quite a good bit of money, which is great. The next method is robbing vehicles. So, robbing a vehicle allows you to get quite a good amount of money, but with some very high risks, especially when there are a lot of cops in your server. So this requires you to have a crowbar, and you also have to drive around for a little bit of time to find a stealable car. You can buy a crowbar at the tool store, and to get a car, it will have a red symbol on the top of it. So you want to drive around to the places that you can see me driving around. The gas station is a great example, where I'm going right now. Usually has vehicles. Depending on the amount of criminals, a lot of criminals will do this method as well. But you gotta take this car to a very specific place, which is called the chop shop. Once you do rob that car, a waypoint will be set. Cops do get notifications if a car is robbed, so you gotta be quick. I believe this is a car right here. Indeed it is. You can see this symbol right here is usually the way that you're gonna see. So I'm gonna park my car right next to it so no cops get suspicious. You gotta be very careful. Obviously, it's not good that there's smoke coming out, but whatever. Here we go. Oops. So, you're gonna have to go over to this side here. You gotta be quick. You gotta do this game here, and boom. We did it. And we're gonna enter. You gotta be quick with it. So green, 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 green. So we're gonna match that up. Blue. Yellow. And red. Oh shoot, red. There we go. Once you match that up, there's multiple game modes. There's that one. You gotta go to the waypoint immediately. Quickly. And they can see you. Some cops will camp, the waypoint, which is the chop shop. I will admit, like, some cops will either race there or camp it, so you gotta be really quick. So yeah, I do recommend that method. The next method is to rob cash registers. So to do this, you have to have the hammer tool, and that tool can also be found at the tool store. Like I said, be careful in public servers. As you can see, you get some very idiotic drivers. So the hammer tool gets you money from cash registers. Not the highest amount of money, but honestly, usually it's easier to escape. So as you can see, you gotta spend a little bit of time hitting the cash register with your hammer, and you can see you will steal. The cops will get a notification, and you will have the timer that you usually do as a criminal for money. Limited amount of cash, but it's low risk, so yeah. The next method is to get a civilian job. As crazy as it sounds, you can be a law-abiding, normal civilian in this game by getting a normal job. So you cannot really join these jobs while wanted. See, you can get a cafe job, and you can't join these while wanted, keep in mind. But yeah, they'll get you paychecks, so yeah. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our next job is robbing ATMs, or method, I apologize. So, robbing ATMs is a great way to make you some money. You can do it on different levels. Depending on which level you use, you will get a certain amount of money. So you have to go to the tool store once again and buy an RFID distributor for $415. But what you're going to want to do now after you buy that is you're going to want to go drive around and find an ATM. So luckily for me, I do know there is an ATM right here, so I will demonstrate on how to do this. I want to make this look like possibly a bot car. Alright, here we go. You will walk up to the ATM, use ATM, and you click to insert your RFID distributor. Here is the modes. I usually go easy. It's still a good amount of money. I usually use that. Oh, it looks like the ATM was recently robbed, which is a great example. I'm glad it did that because that also can happen. If the ATM was recently robbed by a civilian, then it will lock the ATM temporarily. So, yeah. But the cops will not be notified, so don't worry. I'm just gonna drive through here. No. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and find myself an ATM. I guess I know where there is one. So, yeah, we're gonna go there. And once you do get to that ATM, I usually recommend not making yourself look too suspicious. Like, if you just leave your car sitting randomly, sometimes cops will pull up. Obviously, I'm in a pretty desolate area right now, so I'm not too concerned. Here you go. easy, and let's go ahead and start the robbery. You have to match these up, so be on high alert when you have to do this. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're good. C4F. Alright, A29, A29. Okay, you do have a timer. It does get harder when it gets faster when you get to higher levels. So, alright, C3D and AF8. Where the heck is that? Oh, it's, okay, so it was, oh yeah, as you can see, I have plenty of time to spare. And, boom, I got $1,671. So as you can see, you get that. You have a timer as usual, and that is a good amount of money. Our next method is robbing houses. So to do that, you're going to want to go to the tool store once again, and you're going to buy the lockpick for $675. You can use this to break through pretty much any building door, including the bank when you want to rob that, which we will get to later. So I'm just going to go ahead and search for a house. Unless it was robbed recently, every house should work. And unless it is owned by somebody presently. So yeah. Let's go ahead and see here. This house looks good. We will be lockpicking this house. And lockpicks can be quite difficult. And you can see it's like the ATM, you get certain reward amounts, so you have to do the pins when they're on the line. I am not very good at this. I may fail it, but yeah. When you shoot a house window, you can also do that. There's only a 50% chance of money spawning. And as you can see, I did fail that attempt. But you get the idea. When you do successfully do the lockpick, the alarms will sound, so you do need to be careful, and cops can come. And you will get the amount of money, well, maximum amount of money displayed there. So you'll get between 0 and that amount. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's how to rob a house. Alright, our next method is to commit jewelry store robberies. How you do that is you go to the tool store as usual, and you want to get a glass cutter for $1,000. Now that does seem quite excessive, but you get multiple attempts, multiple. So this is also a little bit difficult, and it's kind of like the ATM and lockpick, where depending on the difficulty, you get certain amounts of money, and a lot of people commonly rob jewelry stores. So, as you can see, I'm currently at the jewelry store, and I have my glass cutter. Once you get the glass cutter, you'll see all these cases. You're going to want to cut the case, and you can see you get certain amounts of rewards. So I'm going to go with easy, and you have to keep your thing within the green box while cutting. It does take a little bit of time. You always want to be careful. This isn't the hardest game mode, and it goes fast based on the difficulty. And you see I just got money. So the alarms will sound, and you're going to want to run as soon as you do those robberies as well. Obviously, as you can see, it's a pretty limited amount of money as a reward. The next method is going to be to eliminate players. So what you can do with that, you can do it as a cop if a criminal shoots you, or you can do it as a criminal, as I am right now. And ooh, okay, you can see that usually what you're going to want to do is get a gun. I usually recommend the TEC-9 or the AK-47. And as you can see, you're going to want to get your weapon out. And you're going to want to aim. Usually at police officers, like so. So I'm not very good at PvP. But you get the idea. Money will spawn once they are eliminated. Whoa, she was quick there. Alright, but yeah, you get the idea. It's not very easy on mobile, but I'm usually actually not too bad at it. As you saw there, I wasn't good. Just for the idea of the kicks for the video. And our next method is to rob the bank. So what you're going to have to do is get in a mafia. You can name your mafia whatever, girls. And you have to be in the mafia. Next, you can either get a lockpick or you can get a gun. So if you use a lockpick, you're going to want to go to the very back door of the bank. And if you use a gun, you're going to want to go to the bank's window. I 100% do not recommend robbing the bank solo. Absolutely not. I usually recommend a duo bank robbery. So if you're using a lockpick, you're going to want to go to this door here and pick the lock. Reminder, you do have to be in a mafia, and there is a cooldown if someone recently robbed the bank. And you can also choose the option of shooting this window here. So I'm going to be getting my gun out, and I will be shooting this window. And you can see the robbery started. Once you do that, you're going to want to run inside. Run, and find a code to the vault. So 0259, as you can see. The code is 0259. You're going to want to put it into this keypad, and it will grant you access if you do it correctly. Then you're going to want to go down here, and the alarms will sound. You're going to want to go through these lasers and collect these bomb charges. Those bomb charges will be used for the vault, and you're going to want to plant your charges here. There are 4 charges in total. Be careful with your stamina. It's a pain in the butt. And usually cops will respond, so you always want to be careful. Stamina is really crucial. You're going to have to, that's why I recommend 2 players. As you can see, it will take, oh, yep, we do have an officer right here. So yeah, once you do so, you have to keep picking up cash piles until you get a code under one of the piles. Once that code does appear, as soon as the vault opens, gas will start filling the bank, so you have to be quick. That's also why I recommend 2 players. And you gotta be quick. That code will open to this storage room here. And you gotta run through there. It will come out on the other side of the tunnel. As you can see, I am currently saving stamina. I will die regardless because I am a solo player and the gas will come out. As you can see, it's not going very well and I am about to die. You have to spend Robux to refill stamina. So yeah, you get the idea. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our last method is to be a law enforcement officer. So what you're going to want to do is either join the sheriff or police team. I usually do choose the police team. And you enter a call sign, so we'll just enter random letters there. They have to be 3 to 6 characters long, so we'll do that. And once you do that, you can see you are a cop. So you get paid every once in a while. I think it's like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or something like that. And you usually get paid for just patrolling. And if you respond to calls, you also get additional money. You also want to aim for XP as an officer, which you get by responding to calls and arresting criminals. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.